Some 30 plus years ago, out of conversations among Sir Alistair McIntyre, former Vice-Chancellor of the university, and former UWI St. Augustine Principal, Professor George Maxwell Richards, and their network of supporters, the UWI Development and Endowment Fund, commonly referred to as UWIDEF, was founded out of a desire to support students in need due to their financial constraints. Throughout our 3 decades of existence, the fund has been privileged to support thousands of beneficiaries, many of whom have gone on to enjoy meaningful careers and to make valuable contributions to our Caribbean communities. Education is a significant sector in any nation, being a major investment in the human capital development. Education means a form of self-development in shape of learning, knowledge, skills and habits to be conveyed from one generation to the next. Looking back and flipping the pages of history, the importance of education for the economic, social and moral development of any nation can be observed. And so the role of education in national development of a country cannot be denied.
It all comes down to maximizing the potential of that human asset. So there are people out there who are in whatever situation, and we know that in fact COVID taught us a lot about the state of our students, all right? And they have the capability, but they don't have the means. And if you can only do that, you're not just helping them, you're helping society as well. So that is a key role for any entity like a UWIDEF, right? Some people say, well, no, that's the government's role. Well, the government has so many priorities, don't want to make excuses for them. I think we're operating now at something like 45% less, right, in terms of the subventions from government than we were about 10 years ago. So it's dropped. The proposal has been made. You tell us what you want out of a university system, right? Let us do the rest. We know we're going to need the support, and that's where UWIDEF comes in now to help in providing to complement, right, the resources that are required for UWI to reach its objective.
Most of my teaching has been in postgrad, MSc level, MPhil, etc. And so what I try to do with my students is try to get them internships in industry and have them do their research, their thesis, etc. on a real world problem. And that makes a huge difference because many of them get offers afterwards, after the internship, but they say, they realize, look, I'm good enough to do this anywhere. And so it builds their confidence, and they sometimes they accept it, but then they move on. But they are no longer afraid to go out in industry, and once they get a job, they're afraid to move because they figure they can't get something else.
Where do you think they would be were there not a UWIDEF available to some of them?
Most of them would, because of financial issues, they would probably
have had to give up their dream.
Yeah, unfortunately. Many have to work and go to school, which means the quality of the education is sacrificed. So UWIDEF in that way helps them focus on their studies as opposed to finances.
Education is no doubt directly linked to the process of nation building and development, and it is in this we find our purpose.
UWIDEF is a wonderful idea, of course. It started with Max Richards holding a carnival fete. Actually, that was the first all-inclusive in Trinidad and Tobago, believe it or not. And I was one of those who encouraged both the Association of Professional Engineers. I was president in 93, 94, a long time ago. And the Board of Engineering of Trinidad and Tobago, both of which I belong to. I encouraged them to give bursaries. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I was one of those very vocal that we should give a bursary every year. And I try to encourage the corporate people who I know that it's a good cause. So I really believe in all these measures, whether it's GATE, UWIDEF is another one, and that we need that because we need to bring people who are worthy of tertiary education who cannot afford it.
As evolving times present new and unparalleled global challenges, the work of the fund remains paramount to providing sustainable support to the UWI and its students, and to ultimately facilitating the Caribbean's future growth and development. Former campus principal Professor George Maxwell Richards launched the UWI FET, which is long etched in Trinidad and Tobago's annual carnival calendar of activities.
More recently, we've evolved this concept into the UWIDEF Garden Party, together with the UWIDEF Ignite concert, and added the UWIDEF Charity Golf Tournament to our annual fundraising calendar.
Noor and I got together with both small incomes. We sat down and worked it out. And we said, look, we have had a difficult time, but we know how important it is to get a good education. And we would like to see many students who cannot afford it get an education. So we sat down and worked out our funds, and every month, you wouldn't believe this, we used to give $5 to the endowment fund. And we did that for years and years and years until our salary increased gradually. And then we increased it as the salary increased. In the end, we paid $1,000 a month. So you see how we worked our way up. But we were delighted to help students. And we saw their progress. We kept an eye, but we did it anonymously, and looked at some of the students who got scholarships. And we knew all the chairmen of the different endowments years by years, you know how they changed them every year. But we kept in touch all the time. And this way, we were so satisfied that we knew that we were helping some students who couldn't afford. And we were delighted when they graduated and when they got a job. And then we said, no, you have to give back. And I'm telling you, there are many, many people who need help. And it's not the people who are poor. Middle-class people, upper-class people, they need help. All kinds of help. We saw that, we knew that. And that's how we helped a lot of people, even when we were in the president's house. So the endowment fund helped students. We helped all kinds of people, students as well as older people, younger people, everybody, whoever needed help. And we tried our best to stretch it as much as possible and keep in touch with them. You have to keep in touch with the people. Not just give them a handout. No. They have to appreciate it, and they have to work hard, help themselves as well, and then help the community and help the country and become good citizens. When I tell you, we emphasize that you have to be a good citizen and a good person, and keep that up all your life.
Given the increasing needs of students, we are now called to create a pipeline of fundraising initiatives. And we at UWIDEF are committed to responding to students in need. Your support will enable the success of our efforts, and we encourage you to join the work of UWIDEF as we play our part in the development of our nation's future.